When it comes to prevention of road crashes, vehicle safety is one of the most important ways of reducing chances of preventable loss of control that can lead to road crashes. Each year, more and more people are injured and lose their lives due to use of unsafe vehicles on the roads that lead to road crashes and the lack of features that could have prevented road crashes from occurring.
A car, when you buy it new, it runs, and then parts, they get worn out with time. The moment you just get out from the dealer, they get worn out because you will be driving the car. So as time goes on, most of the cars, they drive around with probably would say problems. But for you to get the whole idea of those problems, you can drive a car with discs which are maybe worn out and you wouldn't notice up until you encounter an obstacle on the road trying to brake, and then the car won't even perform to the max, and then mostly it would cause accidents as well.
It's important to take your car in for service because that is like the rebirth of your vehicle. You know, you are rebooting your vehicle. We tsenya mo seemong sa gore e tswelele go direla isa go tsenya dingalo kana ha sa service koloi go ra gore mathata a nang le one a kgona gore a hetelele ko pele.
Botswana has an ever-increasing vehicle population, with new and old vehicles sharing the roads at all times. In order for all vehicles to safely navigate the road networks, there are minimum safety requirements that each vehicle must have to enable it to share the road with other vehicles and avert occurrences of road crash.
You know, such things like shocks as well on cars are very important. When we do service for engine, we actually look at those things suspension-wise, because, you know, when you're driving at a high speed, normally accidents happen when you are driving faster. Let's say probably around 100 or 80 or so. So you'd find they would be caused by an unhealthy car, whether it's the suspension-wise, discs, brake pads, and your shocks, and your control arms. So those are very important in a car, because in terms of emergency, it can actually cause a horrific accident.
Botswana has over the years, particularly the past 10 years, has experienced high volumes of vehicles that are registered on an annual basis. These alone brings a lot of attention on how safe they are, because when you increase vehicular population, that alone or increased motorization increases the risk of road accidents. Therefore, in this case, it is very, very important to ensure that the vehicles that are used on the road are in good condition.
Through continued use, a vehicle may lose functionality of one of its key safety features, making it at risk of causing a crash, and such vehicle is unsafe. A vehicle is considered unsafe if it does not meet the minimum legal requirements under the Road Traffic Act of Botswana. Unsafe vehicles cause a lot of accident due to their failure to operate in an expected manner and endanger the lives of passengers and other road users.
A safe vehicle basically means a vehicle which is in a position to provide mobility or to provide transportation with minimal possibilities of being involved in a road crash, which means it should be roadworthy. And the roadworthiness aspect here relates to all components of parts of the vehicle being in a good functioning condition.
Normally, when you start a car, maybe let's say probably you are going to work in the morning, you could just either check your engine level, oil. Oil is very important in a car, and then you can also check water. In case you find that the car has any problem of like losing oil or whether it's water, do visit your professional mechanic so that he can check it further and advise you on how you can go about with the problem.
Botswana continues to experience high death rates and injuries from road crashes as a result of defects and faulty features in vehicles. Driving a vehicle that has dangerous driving defects is not only a serious offense, but is a safety hazard that places the life of the occupants and other road users at risk of sustaining injuries or even death in the event of a road crash.
It is a requirement of the law, Botswana law, that for a vehicle to be allowed to be on the road, it has to be roadworthy. In other words, if your vehicle is found not to be in a state that is considered safe enough, or it's in a state that may compromise the safety of the occupants and other road users, that would constitute an offense that is punishable by law. And the purpose here is to make sure that vehicles that are on the road are safe enough to minimize the possibility of accidents.
Sometimes, people say, I have been driving for so many years, I know what it means to speed, I can speed, and at the same time I can use the power of my vehicle because it's fitted with safety gadgets like the ABS and so forth. But not realizing that those things sometimes do not necessarily help, because if an accident is there, you can no longer resort to those things to bail you out. Sometimes it's a question of just attitude. People don't just believe until they have experienced.
The UN Decade of Action 2011 to 2020 Pillar on Safe Mobility encourages the deployment of improved vehicle safety technologies through passive and active safety features such as safety belts and crash avoidance technologies such as ESP and ABS systems. These safety systems provide improved protection of vehicle passengers and other road users through their ability to significantly reduce the chances of road crashes from occurring and providing improved protection in the event of a road crash.
The current dispensation on the issues of safety, or the position that the United Nations through WHO has taken with regards to issues of road safety, is that we need to adopt a philosophy whereby we provide a safe environment, and this can be achieved through engineering. So vehicles play a very key role in terms of providing safe mobility.
These days, drivers and vehicle occupants are protected more and more by safety features of their vehicle, which only become active either during an unsafe driving maneuver to prevent loss of control or when a road crash occurs to reduce the risk of severe injury.
Well, a safe vehicle is a vehicle that has got all the features that can protect the occupants inside that vehicle. Our vehicles are I would say more advanced at this moment in time. We are leading when it comes to safety. The safety features that I can talk about from our vehicles, we're talking about the brake assist, which basically means that the car will apply brakes for you in case where you don't see an object in front of you. And the brake assist basically, it's using the radar to see the movement of other vehicles and also pedestrians. We also have what we call pedestrian assist, which assists in providing or avoiding collision or you hitting a pedestrian. So we also have what we call the sensors around the vehicle. Those will also assist us in ensuring that the brake assist takes place if there's going to be a collision that needs to be prevented. Before an accident happens, the car already knows that there's going to be an accident. So basically it detects an accident before it happens. So the car, because it's using the radar, you can check out movement the way what it will do is it will protect you before you right? So what happens there is basically is that we have what we call the side impact protection beams. And then unibody construction. So more because so if a car is coming to hit on you, maybe most side it will go tula. So it's diragalang ke gore di tsipi tsa teng di simolla go nna thata di sort of dia tensa again, and then hela kudu ile le gauhile go thula, the windows will open slightly ha ile gore ne di tswetswe, ha ile gore di ne di butswe di a tswala ka speed. This things happens in seconds, all right? So if the windows are closed, it will open the windows slightly to allow air to move outside, because I'm not air compression, all right? So so what happens is when it opens the windows, the air will flow outside, and then as soon as
Anti-lock braking system, or ABS, is a passive safety feature of most modern vehicles that prevents vehicle tires from locking up when brakes are applied suddenly in adverse road conditions. When this occurs, the wheels can lock up and the vehicle skids out of control, causing the driver to lose the ability to control and steer the vehicle. The ABS system senses differences in rotational speeds of the wheel and releases the brakes and reapplies them when the wheels have regained traction. This stops the wheels from skidding out of control and helps the driver maintain control enough to guide the vehicle away from the danger.
If you go beyond 200 kilometers per hour, we all know that a lot can happen. And when an accident happens going beyond 200 kilometers per hour, basically, so even if a car is safe, but if you're going at that speed, the chances of survival are very, very slim.
Airbags are a type of supplementary vehicle occupant restraint system made up of a soft bag that is designed to inflate quickly when vehicle sensors detect a vehicle crash, thereby creating a soft cushion that protects the occupants who may be thrown forward from colliding with the internal parts of the vehicle and suffer serious injuries. Airbags are designed to inflate during collision of a vehicle traveling at a speed of more than 25 kilometers an hour and have become standard feature in most vehicles since they were introduced in the 1970s and have saved lives of many people during road crashes.
Airbag so at all times, and then also we advise our drivers to make sure that they're sitting positions, right? Because when you're sitting and you're driving, you're not supposed to lean back like this, okay? Although I know most people like to do that, but when you're driving, make sure that you've got a V shape. That is the perfect driving position, all right? V shape, and then also you're not too far away from the pedals, all right? So that your reaction time can also be perfect.
The adoption of airbags in commercial vehicles has increased that most new vehicles have up to 6 airbags offering protection for more occupants in a vehicle from various types of road crashes, including front and side impacts. Airbags are designed to protect occupants of adult size during a road crash. Children, due to their smaller size, are at risk of being injured by inflating airbags and therefore are not recommended to sit in front seats fitted with passenger airbags.
Yeah, tota wana koloi ha o e tshwere o itsuruna le ke ngwana mo lapeng. So you have to make sure you take care of it. Because if you don't take care of it, it will embarrass you. It will stop anyway. It will do all sorts of things. But if you take care of it, you service it, you save for it. Hela ya ka o ka savela mathata ka tlhaga mo lapeng.
Statistics indicate that 1 in every 5 vehicles on the road would fail roadworthiness exam, and in Botswana, the figure is likely much higher. A roadworthiness exam is an inspection to test the functionality of vital components of a vehicle that are critical for ensuring safety of the passengers and other road users, and the issuance of roadworthiness certificate. The roadworthiness certificate have differing lifespan depending on the type of vehicles, such as 1 year for goods vehicle, 6 months for passenger vehicles, and 3 months for vehicles being registered or licensed. We visited the Vehicle Testing Center at the Department of Road Transport and Safety in Gaborone to find out about roadworthiness exams and how often we should take our vehicles in for inspection. We met Mr. Rapotsanyani, who is the vehicle examiner, and he began by explaining the purpose of the roadworthiness examination.
Vehicle roadworthiness, it's a process whereby we as vehicle examiners determine the worthiness of a vehicle to be driven on the road. It requires a process where a vehicle is taken through a test which has a couple of steps that will be done on it, and at the end of the test there will be a sort of a certificate which authenticates the validity of the vehicle to be driven on the road.
He explained that the roadworthiness exam is very important in that it provides assurance that the vehicle has passed the inspection to determine if it is safe for use, and gives drivers the assurance that their vehicle are less likely to experience a breakdown due to component failure. In Botswana, vehicles that are 3 years and older, or vehicles with a gross mass greater than 3,500 kilograms, and all public transport vehicles are required to undergo roadworthiness inspection. Light commercial vehicles are not mandated to go for roadworthiness inspection, but drivers are encouraged to bring their vehicles in for inspection prior to their regular service to receive a report of their vehicle's condition, which they can report to their motor dealer for attention.
For now, it is not compulsory for them to be tested before they get licensed, but we encourage people to bring the vehicles for a test so that they know the worthiness of their vehicles. So it is a thing that is coming up. Most of the people that bring their vehicles are the people who feel in 2 weeks' time their vehicle will be going for a major service or a minor service. They bring their vehicles here. We tell them what their vehicles will be needing and won't be needing. Then they get that paper, they go to the dealership, and it ends up helping us as vehicle examiners in a way that we end up realizing that accidents are declining because of such a thing we are doing as vehicle examiners.
During inspection, faulty components are identified and a report is produced that is provided to the driver with details of any faults identified that need to be addressed. Roadworthiness tests are also conducted on vehicles that have been involved in road crashes to determine if the vehicle were safe for use on the road and if the faulty components may have led to the road crash. When a vehicle is brought in for inspection, it goes through a 6-step inspection to test vital components such as wheel alignment, suspension, braking system, lights, visual inspection, and finally a road test before the vehicle is issued with a certificate of roadworthiness or provided with a report of faulty components to be attended.
The first one, the vehicle will go through a step of wheel alignment whereby we test the vehicle that if when on motion it will be going on a straight line without even holding onto the steering wheel. From there we have a test that's for the suspension of the vehicle. On that test, the major thing we test is the shock absorbers of the vehicle. We test the springs, the bushes, if they are in the rightful manner, which in turn, if the vehicle is not in a roadworthy state, it ends up affecting the drivability of the vehicle, which in turn will put more stress on the driver. Then we go to our third step, which is the braking system of the vehicle. We check the efficiency at what distance you can brake and all that. On all of those tests, we are using this machine, which is synchronized to the lane here, as you can see at this side. So everything that happens here, we'll get all the readings here. Then this will tell us that that vehicle is in a roadworthy state of braking at what certain distance, how much effort is being put on the disc. When we are done with that, we go to our lighting system. We have a machine, that one which is on the rail. We check the intensity of the lights. We check the height of the lights, if the low beam of the vehicle is in the required height, and the high beam, if it's lighting on the same on the direction it is supposed to meant to be lighting. Then after that, we go to our fifth step, which we go underneath the vehicle. We have a pit there, whereby we'll drive the vehicle onto the pit, then we go under. There we do the visual inspection, where we check on the bushes of the vehicle, we check on the joints of the vehicle, we check on the undercarriage of the engine if there are any leaks. After that, we go for a road test, which for us it's a very major process, whereby now that's where I feel the vehicle as a vehicle examiner, going at variable speeds, checking if what I have been doing while testing the vehicle satisfies me as a vehicle examiner for the other person to come and use the vehicle. Then coming back from the test, then that's when we compile that report and tell the owner of the vehicle if his vehicle or her vehicle has passed or it needs to be corrected, some other defects on the vehicle. But when we are comfortable with what we did, we end up giving that vehicle a roadworthy certificate, which then would say that that vehicle is okay to be driven on our roads.
If a vehicle fails the exam, owners must rectify the faults and book for re-examination at no cost if done within 7 days of their last exam. In this episode, we have learnt about common vehicle defects and the dangers of driving vehicles that are unsafe for use on the roads that are shared by other road users. We also looked at passive safety features that are available in most modern vehicles that you should be aware of that may keep you safe in the event of a driving error or a road crash. In the next episode, we are going to focus specifically on tire safety and how to keep your vehicle tires operating well to keep your vehicle from tire blowout. Join us again on the next episode.